Hello, Erin.
Hello, Stacy. Welcome to Broadway.
It feels different because we're having it recorded, so we're on camera.
We're properly clothed as well.
Yeah, I know. So normally we are wearing
Pajamas.
yoga pants, which is what I normally wear when I don't have to see people, but we dressed up today. So, all right. Well, I want to get right into it. There has been a very, very, very dramatic saga. Mm-hmm. And it has been concerning you in this mountain house, which I don't know if we've ever talked about that on the podcast before. Maybe you were looking about being a buyer for a mountain house.
Yeah, that was my goal for the year.
Okay. So let's talk about how that's gone.
January has been rough on Schmoopy.
Oh, okay. Schmoop.
It has just been an emotional roller coaster. I now know what it's like to be a buyer in this crazy ass motherfucking market. Mm-hmm. So, my goal was to find a mountain house. I did not expect it to happen so soon. I found one. I sent Spence a text that said, Mayday, Mayday, May motherfucking day. This is the one. And he called me and he was like, all right, let's go tomorrow and we'll go see it. And it had just snowed up there the night before. So I called the agent and I was like, if we come tomorrow, are we going to be able to get in? And he was like, I don't know. They usually clear the roads, but I won't know until I try to go up there. And, right now, no rush. We don't have any scheduled showings. So the next morning I checked in with him at like 8:30 and he was like, oh, we've got 6 showings, for today. And you can get up here. It's fine. So we drove up and fell in love with the house. It was the first house that we have both agreed on. I want to be in Highlands. He likes Brevard. He wants a lake view. I want a mountain view. We have definitely different design taste and all of these things. So the fact that we both absolutely loved this house was, I just couldn't believe it happened so quickly.
Why was it? I mean, I saw the pic that you showed me and I knew why, but why?
You guys need to look up this house. It's 220 Worley, Worley, Highlands. It is architecturally just super unique. Mm-hmm. It's a Jim Fox design. It was built in 1985. And he designs, there's lots of books on him. He designs just really unique homes. There's lots of weird angles and he likes to think outside the box. It's not a traditional home by any means. So look at the pictures on Zillow or whatever your preferred platform is. But it was also, we could walk to downtown, but it was high enough to have a view. There in the back of the neighborhood, there were hiking trails, so you can just walk out your door and go on a hike. It was appropriate square footage. It came fully furnished. I loved their decor. Mm-hmm. It was just I couldn't believe how perfect it was. Mm-hmm. Too good to be true.
So what do I always say?
I don't know.
If it seems too good to be true.
It is.
It is.
And it was the least expensive home in the nicest neighborhood, which you would have been proud of.
Yeah, I do love that rule too.
Yeah. So, we bust our butts to get up there. We see it on a Sunday. We are driving back down the mountain. And they told me initially that offers were due at 5 p.m. on Monday. We're driving down the mountain, and he goes, actually, we're going to call for offers by 8 o'clock tonight. And it's 4 o'clock, and we're driving down a mountain, and you barely have cell phone service. So we get to Greenville, pull over at this awesome dog bar. It's called Unleashed. It is a fenced-in dog park that also has a bar and covered area with heaters where you can drink beer and wine. I'm just a master on Google.
Yeah.
And they had Wi-Fi. So I'm there with my laptop and a glass of wine. Levi and Spence are playing. And I'm writing an offer for myself because at this price point, you guys will see this, but it was listed at $985. I knew that they had other offers already. And so I was like, I'm going to use my commission towards closing costs because just the amount of cash that we would have to bring to closing. So I was self-representing. And as I'm doing that, I'm just overwhelmed with panic. A, it's a North Carolina contract, not something I'm used to. And B, I'm now emotionally involved and can't think straight.
Being my own real estate agent is the worst experience I've ever had.
Oh my God.
I am a terrible client to myself.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably true for many of us. But, the North Carolina, I just brought a copy with me because I didn't want to forget. But, it's like it's just completely different. You have to do everything during your due diligence. Your financing is not contingent. It's not a separate contingency. Everything has to be done during due diligence. You have to get it clear to close during your due diligence period. And then the attorneys get it. And then they start. Usually when the attorneys get it after due diligence, you have another 2 weeks to close. So it's actually a 60-day escrow period, which down here would not fly.
No.
I was like, anyway. You have a due diligence termination fee, which is due immediately. So if you back out for any reason, you're already like losing money. But, all of your financing, all of your repairs, appraisals, everything has to be done during your due diligence period. So I'm sitting there writing this offer and I'm having a mild panic attack. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? Like, I value representation. And so I called an agent. And the second I spoke to her, I just felt this huge weight off my shoulders. And I was like, she's got it. She's going to run with it. And there ended up being 5 offers. And let me tell you how much money this agent ended up saving me. So we wrote an escalation addendum initially that we would pay $5,000 over the highest bidder up to 1.2. She said, well, excuse me. So then they called for highest and best, at which point you have to remove your escalation addendums and you just have to write a flat rate. So I said, well, I don't want to lose it over $15,000. Like, I'll go up to 1.2. And that whole night I was like, oh my God, I didn't sleep for like 3 nights in a row. I'm like, that was too much. I don't want to spend that much. I don't want to spend that much. And the next day she called me and she was like, you don't need to go that high. She goes, I think we can get this done at $1,025,000. And we did. This woman saved me $175,000.
So this is why you need an agent to represent you, number one.
I don't know that market. Like $175,000 over list price here is not a huge unheard of. But up there, it was like all we had to do was go $40,000 over list price and we won.
Well, we all know how much I love to talk about how I'm always right. And when we went to dinner on Friday night and you told me that you were self-representing, I told you that when somebody comes to me and tells me that they're self-representing, my reaction is not positive.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this also just all happened so quickly. From the time we even saw the listing to the time I was trying to write an offer was less than 48 hours. So,
so you value a local expert now.
Yes.
That's the lesson learned. We're going to hire an agent when we're buying stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we won the multiple offers and, just felt like the highest of highs. It was so amazing. It was just a fun. It was so exciting to have something to look forward to and to be excited about together.
I felt like it was a pregnancy announcement, the closest thing that I was going to get to one with you. Really. I mean, just all of your emotions and everything dealing with it. I was so excited. And, I think that's what it is. It's like you're dreaming and then you're dreaming of all of your life is going to be different, right? You're going to have all these design things and all these memories you're going to make up there. So,
Yeah. And honestly, I'm not comparing this to having a child, but I kind of am. It's like when we took Levi up there and there was, 2 feet of snow on the ground, just watching him like run through the snow and experience that for the first time. Like we both had tears in our eyes.
Yeah.
It was like so heartwarming. And we're like, oh my God, this is going to be so many more memories for our family.
Totally.
And so, we were highest of highs and then we drive up for the inspection, and meet the structural engineer there. And this, we got out of the car and this guy's got a huge chip on his shoulder. And I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, like we're not going to get along. And I go inside to start measuring stuff like Spence has got this, and then they call me out there and I hear the guy say, I've been trying to wash my hands of this house for 5 years.
What?
And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, this is my 5th time up here. And I said, oh, what? And he starts pointing out all of the issues in the house. So a big portion of the house is cantilevered over the side of the mountain. And the joists that run out there are all rotten. The floorboards under all the porches are rotten because they didn't use exterior treated wood.
Oh my gosh.
All of the windows, which if you look at the pictures, are custom windows. And
I feel like it looks like not to this exact level, but it's like a little Harry Potter mountain house.
Yeah. It is. The windows are incredible, but they were, and we could see when we walked to the house that they had lost their seal and some of them were cloudy. That does not bother me. I don't care if it's an insulation thing, whatever, we're going to have fires and it doesn't get that hot in the summer. So, but what he explained was why they were losing their seal was because the house had shifted that much on its foundation. So, anyway, he was like, this cantilevered portion of the house, you're going to spend $20,000 putting up, I'm blanking on this word. Scaffolding.
Okay.
You're going to put $20,000 worth of scaffolding up on this side to replace these joists. Then take that scaffolding down. Then you got to put $20,000 worth of scaffolding up on this side to replace that joist. Take that down. And then you need to actually build supports because anybody who doesn't know what cantilever means, there's just no supporting column or braces under there at all. It is just hanging off the side of the mountain, which is part of the
appeal.
Cool factor.
Yeah.
All of the lumber that was on the retaining wall that is underneath the house was totally rotten. And he was like, I don't even know what's underneath there and how rotten that stuff is. But he said, this house needs about $400,000 worth of work
Holy
immediately.
shit.
And you couldn't pay me $400,000 to buy this house.
Yeah.
He said, every time you come up here, it's going to be something major. He said, these Jim Fox houses are cool, but they're not meant to last more than like 30 years.
Damn.
Yeah. So we had to back out and
it was a sad story.
sad story. I mean, just
Have you recovered yet?
every day gets a little bit better.
Of course.
But it was just, we were on the highest of highs, and that within an hour of talking to somebody, that's why he's got a chip on his shoulder, is he's tired of talking about this damn house. And so, we had to forfeit our due diligence money, which
They didn't have to represent this though in disclosures if the guy's been up there 4 times before. I don't understand.
it wasn't
that.
for these sellers.
It was for different.
It was the people who owned it before them.
Okay, and they didn't have to disclose it.
No,
I don't understand that.
I know, I don't either.
Okay.
So we released immediately. It's back under contract now.
Did you?
I hope
lose
those
due
people are
diligence
listening
money?
to this. I did. I lost $1,500.
Oh, that's nothing.
Right. I don't have the bills for all the inspections yet, so we'll see. That'll be a little bit more.
So what have you learned? Like, how are you going to approach it differently going forward? No hanging off the side of the house. No Jim Fox houses for sure.
Yeah.
And nothing hanging off the side of a
and
mountain.
don't tell people you're pregnant until you're crowning.
Oh, totally. I mean, come on. That was an amateur
I had
move.
sent this house to all my girlfriends.
Oh,
I'm
totally.
like, this is where we're going to spend my birthday this year,
Yeah.
and then you have to go to, oh no, we didn't get the
I
house.
actually do that with my clients all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, do not tell anybody. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Let's wait until we get through the inspections and then you can start telling people. Because I know how heartbreaking that is. And it is good. So, the other thing is you were saying that this agent kind of like helped, like you have a new appreciation for your clients that are in multiple offer situations and stuff. I mean, what are you going to do differently as an agent now that you've had this experience?
Oh, geez. I just really, I just can't even put into words how much I empathize with buyers right now trying to compete against multiple offers and the stress that it puts on you and the sleep that you lose. And I think the number one thing is you need to sleep on it, one night, because if it's keeping you up all night, the price that you said you would pay for that, which is what I said, 1.2 is too high. 1.2, I could not sleep about it because I really didn't want to go over $1.05 million. And I woke up that morning and I was like, I'm sick to my stomach. I don't, like, do I want the house at 1.2? I don't know. But definitely like sleep on it. The other thing is that if you have a single buyer who doesn't have a partner to go through this with, you need to be there for them, because I cannot imagine not having Spence to, first of all, be excited with, but then also like pick up the pieces when this dream is just shattered in front of you. My heart just goes out to people that are doing this on their own, because you just need somebody there for emotional support.
Yeah. I mean, it's so emotional. And like, I think that, it's one of the reasons that I think women are better real estate agents too, is I think we empathize. It's just more natural for us too, and we're more nurturing and we understand more. But, I showed a property over the weekend that I fell in love with, and I was telling you that I like got so emotional about it immediately, just like dreaming about moving into it. So, that's just part of the deal that we have to deal with as real estate agents. And I think just being patient and always listening. And I always tell my clients that I'm like, look, I'm here. Like, as you're freaking out, you just need to call me and I'll listen to you. I can't really do anything else, but I'll just listen. And I also like what you said about like single people, because it's very, 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 very scary to do that alone. So,
and I've had so many people tell me like, this, Erin, but there will be another one. Like, it wasn't meant to be. You'll find the perfect house, and it may not come soon. Which, now that I've got this bee in my bonnet about amount, like, I'm so impatient. Like, I want to find one today. And there hasn't been anything. So each day that goes by, I'm less emotional and I'm getting a little bit more patient. But Spence held it together so well until we got back from the mountains. And I think it was my first day back to work. And then we kind of both came home at dinner. And I was like, dinner will be ready in about 15 minutes. He goes, if you don't mind, I'm just going to go get in the hot tub. I'm not hungry right now. I just need to be by myself. Like, this was very stressful for me. And it was the first time that I'd heard him say that. And it's the first time ever in our 10 years together that I've heard him say he was stressed about anything. And so it kind of like stirred up all those emotions for me again, just realizing how much it affected him, because I'm the anxious one I'm the one that carries all the emotions for everything that we're doing.
Yes.
I'm the worrier. I'm the one with the anxiety, all of this. And so the fact that it affected him that much, it's been a lot.
Okay.
It's been a lot. And I've got all whole new empathy for buyers right now.
Well, that concludes our sad story of the day. Does anyone need a tissue?
Or Xanax.
I feel like we need to lighten it up for the next episode, but that's all we have for you guys today. Erin's sad mountain house story. The moral of the story is don't buy a mountain house. It's way too damn stressful.
No,
okay,
that's not the moral of the story.
Maybe we're going to tell her not to come back until she has something good to tell us. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and tell all your friends how much you love listening to this sob story. And we will see you back next week.